Hi, everybody, and happy Lent. During Lent, Catholics are called to focus on prayer, fasting, and almsgiving for 40 days. Now, this number 40 is a very significant number as it appears in the Bible in many places. When Israel was a slave to Egypt, God freed them. And then upon being freed of slavery, they wandered in the desert for 40 years. A lot of people ask, they're like, why would God free the slaves only to put them into the desert for 40 years before they're allowed to go into the promised land? And there is a very big reason for that, and it's our focus for Lent. So when these people have been slaves in Egypt, that's all they ever knew. They only ever knew how to be slaves. That 40 years in the desert is spent creating a new people, and that is what we are meant to do. Now, if we take something simple like brushing your teeth, if you say one day, like, I'm going to begin now brushing my teeth, and you do it once, you are going to have zero long-term effects on your dental hygiene. None if you do it one time. This is the same thing for us personally when we make these changes to become new creations for God. We are meant to focus on prayer, focus on almsgiving, focus on fasting for 40 days, because if we focus on it, we should come out at Easter during the celebration as new people with a different focus. Now, this is where we need to draw our attention to what am I going to do for Lent? Most people say, like, what am I going to give up for Lent? When you're giving up something for Lent, most people turn to chocolate. You know, that's wonderful and all, but if we're looking, I'm going to give up chocolate for Lent, are you going to come out of Lent a new creation? Maybe, probably not. So during Lent, when you are picking something to focus on, look at yourselves. Just like the Israelites had been slaves, they had been slaves to someone their entire lives. We need to look at ourselves and ask, what am I a slave to? Am I a slave to my job? Am I a slave to money? Am I a slave to my ego? And when we can identify who we are in slavery to, we can focus on how to free ourselves during these 40 days. So that may look like, if I'm a slave to work, I'm going to change that, and I'm going to read my children a bedtime story every single night during Lent to make sure that they know that they are my focus. Or if I'm a slave to money, I'm going to put some money in a jar every single day during Lent or every week in Lent, and I'm going to do something beneficial for somebody else with that money. But the thing is you have to have something every single day, something that you are going to actively do, because your attention needs to be drawn to it. Because again, if we don't pay attention, if we're not doing something every day, we can't expect ourselves to be a new creation at the time of Easter. So I hope this helps everybody, and happy first day of Lent.